Hey guys, I'm glad you guys are all here today. And you know, the other day I was walking around. Downtown. I was just strolling around, minding my own business. Actually, my wife, Mrs. Teeter, she was right next to me. We were having a good time downtown. We just got finished eating, walking around, and BAM! A car wreck. And then, like we looked around, and I was like, you know, as soon as it happened, what happens to me? I'm like, whoa! I'm like in ninja mode, ready to attack, right? Right? All tensed up and ready to respond. You guys ever been in those situations where in the moment's notice your body completely freaks out and changes? You ever been in those situations? No? Really? How about now? Okay, I want you guys to tell me what just happened. What's going on in your bodies in those moments? What's happening? Maybe some of you guys are like, yeah, I'm completely tense. Mark, or Mr. Teeter, you completely freaked me out. And I just have to apologize right now. I'm sorry. That was not my intention. But it's to prove a point. Yeah, your bodies get tense. What else? Feel your chest right now. Is your heart beating just a little bit faster? Yeah, what about your head? Are you sweating just a little bit? I can guarantee you when I was in downtown walking around and all of a sudden I hear this boom! I started to sweat a little bit. My body started to freak out. What is this? What is it? That's what we're going to talk a little bit about today. In fact, one of the vocabulary words for today, right here on the board behind me, which isn't really behind me, but right behind me, is the word stress. How many of you guys have heard that word before? Right? I think that's a word in our society, in our culture, that gets thrown around a lot. Stress. Stress. Stress, S-T-R-E-S-S, which will be on the spelling test. Stress is the response of a person's mind or body to a demand. When in this situation where I pop that balloon, the idea here is that your body is responding uncontrollably to the noise or to the situation, to the stress. That's a natural way. Our body deals with things in different ways. And that there are certain things that happen to our bodies. Certain physical changes happen when a person experiences stress. I want you guys to get in groups real quick and I want you guys to discuss real quick, what do you think are some of the ways that our body responds to stress? All right, guys, let's bring it all back. Bring it back together. Quiet down, quiet down. Chelsea, dude, come on. I told you. Please, settle down. If I have to tell you again, Chelsea, I'm sending you to Mrs. Krause's office. Roger, please take the finger out of your nose. All right, we're back. Okay, guys, so stress. There are many different causes of stress in this world, and especially in our society. There's all different ways that we deal with different kinds of stress, but there's different causes, and this is another vocabulary word for you guys. It will be on the test as well, and that is stressor. Let me hear you say stressor. Good job, stressor. S, it's on the board behind me as well. S-T-R-E-S-S-O-R, stressor. And that is the cause or the source of stress. So with my little experiment with the balloon, the cause of that would be extreme loud noise caused me to go, whoa! Ninja mode, right? So the stressor would be the extremely loud noise. Now, what are some ways that stress can be caused in your life? Now, some things that came to mind for me. You ever been in an argument with a friend? Right? Maybe you got, maybe even with a family member. That is a huge way that we have stress in our lives. Or perhaps this. There are some of you here maybe that have had to experience moving to another neighborhood, right? Moving across town, moving states, actually moving countries. That can be a huge cause of stress. Or how about this one? Have you ever waited till the last minute to complete your science project? Brielle? You guys ever done that? Right. I think we've all done that at some point, but that is a huge cause of stress in our life. Now here's the deal. There are all kinds of ways that we can positively deal with this stress in our life. So for example, you got in an argument with your friend on the playground. What is the way how can you deal with that stress? Well, there's probably many options, but there's probably one really good, positive way you can deal with it. And that's to go and confront your friend and say, hey, look, listen, I got this problem. Let's talk it out. Let's settle it, right? That's an easy way to do it. You know, another way you can do it is you can bring in a school counselor. Maybe you need to. Maybe you're so stressed out, whether it's through a move or just stuff going at home, that you need to bring in a school counselor in to help you deal with some of the effects of stress. And that is a great way to deal with it. So let's bring it back to this example about schoolwork. All right? How could you deal with the effects of stress? Because a lot of us have been there where we've waited to the very last minute to do our project. Right? How could you deal with that? Perhaps, maybe since you kind of missed the deadline, maybe you could go to the teacher and you could say, hey, look, Miss Brodeen, Mr. Teeter, hey, can you give me an extension on the deadline? That might help deal with some of the stress. Or perhaps you can say, is there any way I can get some extra credit points? Because I really need to bring my grade up because I messed up and I waited too long on that one. That's a way. But probably the best way you can deal with that kind of stress is to eliminate it. Figure out how you can deal with it. How do I eliminate this kind of stress? This is a no-brainer, guys. Don't procrastinate. The point is this. Don't figure out what stresses you out. And don't put yourself in those situations on purpose. All right? So here's something that I want to explain. We're going to watch a little video. But right before we watch that video, you got to understand that stress is a natural reaction that the body has to protect itself. So when we talk about physical stress, like if I get freaked out by a balloon popping and I'm like, whoa, right? I'm releasing that stress, right? Physically, I can release that stress by reacting and my body is protecting itself. But there's other kinds of stress like emotional and social stress. Getting picked on, having arguments with people, schoolwork, piling up and not taking care of. Those kinds of stress is not so easy to deal with. And the problem is this, just like when in a physical stress, I can release it and I can go into ninja mode. If I don't find a way to release this sort of mental stress and social stress, it can have some profound effects on your body. It can really affect your body in bad ways. So right now, we are going to watch this small video. I want you guys to keep your hands to yourself, eyes forward, and actually take some notes because we will have a little test on this afterwards. Bum, bum, bum.
Stress is a part of life, and it's not always a bad part of life. Most of us enjoy good stress in small doses, like roller coasters, watching sports, or even a scary movie. That's the kind of stress that keeps us young and on our toes. Then there's bad stress, or worse, chronic stress. Negative stress isn't just in your head. It can affect us both mentally and physically. Stress hormones in the body for extended periods of time can physically age our cells. So when you're stressed at work or home, your cells look and act older, making you look older and even impacting your immune system. Not only does it add years to your appearance, it can also affect your memory, making brain cells shrink permanently. Even short-term stress can make it hard for you to remember simple things. The good news is, you can manage stress now to prevent more damage to your body and mind tomorrow. Stress management is a skill that can be learned.
All right, guys, so there you have it. What were some of the ways that our bodies react? How do we react when we're in stressful situations? The video mentioned a few very specific examples of what happens to us. What were some of the things that happen? Yeah, so exactly. We age. We prematurely age. We actually look and act older. Check it out. I'm bald. Perhaps this happened because I have been failing to deal with stress in a positive way. Perhaps. Maybe it's genetics. Maybe it's not. What are some other things that happen? Immune system, right? It mentioned your immune system. It can really mess with your immune system, making you sick, it's just not good for your immune system to be stressed out all the time. What else? Affect your memory. Your memory can start going, you said even in short-term stressful situations, you can have hard times even remembering where your car is parked. You guys don't drive, but silly things can start to happen if we don't deal with stress. Our brain cells actually shrink. So there's a lot of things that can happen. So stress is a very important thing, and it's something that we really need to pay attention to. So what we're going to do now, there are all different ways, all different situations. As a class, we're gonna do some journaling. So what I want you guys to do, you can pick one of the stressful situations that we talked about. We talked about maybe getting in an argument with your friend, maybe moving to a new neighborhood, maybe getting in an argument with your parents, maybe procrastinating on an assignment, maybe just being in a situation where physically you get stressed out, maybe like in a car wreck or something like that. But I want you to pick one of those, and what I want you guys to do is I want you to journal. We're going to spend the next few minutes journaling. And I want you to describe in detail how your body would react. How your body would react to this situation. Some people do different things, like I chew my fingernails when I get in stressful situations. Very bad for you, but that's what I do. How would your body react in these situations? And the second part of that is this, and it's just as important. How can you positively resolve the situation? And that is what we call stress management. I want you guys to spend the next few minutes doing that.